Hello and welcome to the second rescheduled race of the season as we head to round 7 of Global Formula Automobilista, this time at the Red Bull Ring. Reasons for the rescheduling in the thread. Where, well, championship leader, constructor championship leading team and drivers, Jenson Button has taken pole position again by a commanding time at 0.6 of a second. It was a really impressive lap from Button. Puts at the top, he's won the last 3 races. Can he make it 4 in a row? They're trying to throw it away so much in the last round. Nick de Vries is second, Gurney Motorsport, as he tries to claw back some points from his teammate. With Valentino Rossi in third for City Pop Racing. He of course finished on the podium for the first time last time around, becoming only the 15th to score a podium this season for City Pop. Max Verstappen's in 4th ahead of Fernando Alonso, with former championship leader Fabian Barthez in 6th place. Chris Hoy takes 7th for DTK ahead of Fangio and Martin Brundle, who is a long way down on his teammate. Gilles Villeneuve 10th for Bravera ahead of Jim Clark for Red Knight, and Mika Hakkinen, 2K1 still in the Pink Boy livery and haven't made many buys for a while, so they're falling a bit back. Heidfeld's up in 14th ahead of his teammate. DeAndre's 16th and Schumacher for Bangalore ahead of his teammate Perez. Bangalore have finally managed to make the upgrade to low downforce rather than ultra low, so hopefully they'll be quicker today and they can move away from being a backmarker and hopefully the tail end of the midfielders. Senna's 19th for Falcon ahead of Prost, with Andretti 21st, Gurney 22nd, with Hamilton and Ide rounding out the grid. We were supposed to be joined by the 2 Bad Brain Motorsport cars of Jotalazy and Fluke Massa, but they weren't able to get their car ready in time, so unfortunately they will be missing out on the race this weekend. As the cars begin to form up, we get ready for the start of the Austrian Grand Prix. Button will lead us away off the grid, or at least he hopes to. 5 lights are on, and we are away for the Austrian Grand Prix. It's a slow start for de Vries, who's actually holding up his teammate, which is allowing the 2 City Pops to get round the outside. And that's forced their way through as Alonso's really wide as he rejoins. There's a 2KF1 rejoin really awkwardly. But that's allowed the DTKs to both jump up a couple of places. As de Vries challenges Rossi, and Button has already disappeared out front. Barthez challenging his teammate. We head back as Watson and Heidfeld get going. Prost is up a few places, so we head back through the pack. Senna's lost a load of places, as has Andretti. Back to the front we've got, well, to make sure we've got Prost having a little bit of contact with Schumacher there in the mid pack. As we will stream down, DeAngelis is up 6 places already, that's impressive. 4 places even. As Clark is under pressure from, that was Alonso in the middle sector, that's not an overtaking spot. Braun was up a couple of places. I think Dan Gurney's falling back a bit. He's been overtaken as Hamilton's being pushed back as well. But Jenson Button at the end of the first lap has already got a 2-second lead. What is going on? He is on fire here and it's going to be tough to catch him up. Rossi leads the rest of the pack. Mr. Vries is holding off Verstappen. Not for much longer. Always going to follow him with a little bit of gap appearing, as that's Villeneuve having a look at Fangio after they head through turn 2 and to the braking point for turn 3. That's not going to happen this lap. So Button's now 2-second advantage is pretty much matched by Rossi's 2-second advantage over de Vries. Verstappen now 4th, with Hoy 5th. And Barthez falling up in 6th. We head further back. I think we'll have a little search back through the replays, because there was definitely a 2KF1 going wide at the first corner on the first lap, along with Alonso. I should have done this a bit earlier, but the rest of the start was quite exciting, so I was following it. So Alonso was having a challenge. He was behind his teammate in turn 1. But had to... Well, he got massive understeer as he went through. And so he's just gone a bit of a slide. Let's see with Alonso. Yeah, so he's actually challenging De Vries. He's thinking about going around the outside for third place. But, oh, it's contact. Contact to send him wide. They had to rejoin over the curb. But that solves what happened there. Senna here is dropping back. Everyone's getting past him as Ida is up 3 places, 21st at the back of the grid. But we head towards the front again. And a little bit of a breakaway here. As these top few guys are getting close together. There's Chris Hoy here now having a look at Max Verstappen into turn 1. Hoy at the inside of Verstappen. Verstappen, oh, Hoy leaves some space and Verstappen goes a bit wide and it's a bit of a slide. And so allowing Hoy at the inside. Side by side down the straight, same amount of power in these cars. They're both at full power, 1.2 times engine power. Massive increase, and now as the top teams all start to have the same power, it's all getting a bit equal. Siggy Pop with their latest team to reach said power levels after the upgrades from the last round. So, in fact, the top 4 cars are the top 4 teams with all the power. So that's Harvey, Siggy Pop, NLE and DTK, all with maximum power. Which will explains why their cars are 1 to 8. But the Red Knights doing their best to try and keep up. They're probably, to be honest, the next team that are going to reach that levels of power. They're looking in form, just a bit unlucky at the wrong times. Jensen Button sets at 1:15.4 is the new fastest lap. That's going to be falling and falling as this goes on. No. Only lap 1 is Verstappen there was under pressure from Barthez. Oh, look at that, 4-second lead. Button has over Rossi. He's got another 4 seconds over De Vries. I have a feeling as soon as Hoy is past De Vries, he's going to start trying to close that gap, because De Vries isn't. As it seems there's Alonso there under pressure from Brundle, or is he just overtaking Brundle? No, he's got past him. So through turn 1 they're fine, but Alonso's in the slipstream. Sliding up behind. And just decides to send it under braking. That was close, but there was no contact. And in fact, that was a really smooth move there by the Spaniard. As he gets past Brundle, but Brundle's having a look back into turn 4. In fact, he's up the inside and he's forced Alonso wide. So Brundle, having lost some position, takes it back down the next straight. So I think that's Hoy and De Vries now. Chris Hoy's had a look at De Vries into turn 4. He has up the inside. But De Vries has held it around the outside before it's got a slide. So Hoy's in front now. De Vries back in the slipstream. He's just... Well, Hoy's left him space. I'll give it that. Hoy's run a bit wide and left him space. And De Vries has thought, oh well, if you're going to give it back to me, I'll take it. Hoy on the outside line. He's actually made it. How the hell has Hoy done that? De Vries obviously left him space. And Hoy's gone wham bam, thank you, I will take that. So Chris Hoy has just fought his way past both NLE Motorsport cars. Now he's been released, what can he do about the, well, 4-second gap to his teammate? Or to Rossi, I mean. As now Verstappen has had to hit the brakes and let De Vries go, and Barthez tries to fight it round the outside. Barthez off at turn 1. He's stuck on the curb there. He's got it going again, it seems. So Verstappen's had a look at De Vries into the final corner, which was a stupid move. It seems to have worked. Barthez has had a look at Verstappen, but De Vries has braked later and Verstappen's pulled back in. Barthez has just got it right wide, and now he's stuck on the exit curb. Trying to rejoin, he's been hit by Hackler and he's slowed down Perez. And the rejoin in front of Prince down is 16th, so after pretty disastrous Canadian Grand Prix. Not got much better for Barthez here in Austria. Hopefully for his sake, that'll be his only mistake, and he can now put his foot down. He's got a much better car than the guys around him. He can take his time up, but will he? That's the question. He only managed to do it. So Verstappen has actually lost a load of time and all of that, and this has allowed Chris Hoy to actually get a bit of a gap over De Vries as he's trying to catch up that monumental gap to Rossi. Look, Rossi's into the final corner, into the penultimate corner, his Button's coming out the final one. The Button setting another fastest lap. Rossi trying to keep up, and Hoy is now, well, 16-2, he's 9/10 off. 9/10 off what Button's doing. Button is on another level here. It just remains to be seen whether he can throw it away like he tried to in Canada. I think this track's going to be a lot less evil on the drivers, especially if there's a final chicane of death. So, it should all be fine, but you never know, as it stands. Clark has, I think he's got past Alonso there. He has. So despite being underpowered against the Super Pop, Jim Clark has found that slipstream to be pretty damn powerful. And he's up the inside into the Remus curve. Good pass there from the Red Knight to get himself up into the mixer. But, as we've seen quite a lot, the next straight is pretty damn good. And Alonso was back up the inside of Clark, but decided to pull out of it. Villeneuve now is the next driver trying to join in this fight. And actually, Fangio is having a look at Villeneuve. That's not an overtaking spot, Juan. Try again another time. As Button setting fastest laps, I think is going to be such a common occurrence. I'm not even going to bother saying it anymore, to be honest. Rossi, I think, has been lucky that he got the clean air at the beginning as the NLEs weren't holding him up, but Verstappen now is the next one trying to get past De Vries. De Vries is obviously, he was quick in qualifying, but race pace so far for him has been awful. He's now holding his teammate up again. All of this has allowed Brundle to catch up. I'm going to watch here from Brundle to see what Stefan does in De Vries. See how it all pans out. Stefan up the inside now. And Brundle's thinking, can I join in the fun? Stefan's made the move. So Max Verstappen now up to 4th. As De Vries is now, well, holding everyone up again. It's Brundle is the next car who's going to hold up. You know, Hoy's checked out, he's 2 seconds ahead of Verstappen. Again, Hoy's dropping away from Rossi, who in turn is still dropping away from Jenson Button. 1:15.2. Which, if we compare it to Rossi's 15.9s, and Hoy's 16.4, and 17.0 that Verstappen just did. 8 laps in, and Button seems to have already won this race. I'll watch back the rear wing here in De Vries, because Braun's close. He's already fallen away from his teammate in Verstappen. There's Verstappen, he's gone. Brundle is close, but without any power difference between these two cars now, it's a bit hard to work out who's going to win. A little bit of a battle. Clark now has still got Alonso all over his rear wing. I think we'll head a bit further down the grid. So Watson in 12th is ahead of Heidfeld and Barthez, who's recovered 2 positions already. He's got back past Houghton and Perez. He's up to 14th with Nick Heidfeld, his next victim. Of course, public enemy number 1, Heidfeld is, as Barthez is thinking about it into the penultimate corner. I mean, to be honest, if Heidfeld had hit Barthez there, I wouldn't really call him public enemy, because that's a great place to make an overtake anyway. But Barthez doing what he can. Once he's got past Watson, he's got a lot of clean air, which means he's got a big gap to make up to catch up to De Angelis. It's about, what's that, 7-8 seconds between De Angelis and Watson in 11th and 12th. That is going to hurt Bartez's chances here. But it's going to send it up the inside of Heidfeld into the Remus hairpin. Heidfeld is a long way back and basically accepts that that move was inevitable and has happened. Barthez now with John Watson as the next victim. Because again, I don't think there's going to be much chance Watson has. There's a big power difference between the two cars. Up front, it's worth noting that having passed the freeze, Max Verstappen has put his foot down and is catching Hoy. Hoy's done a 15.6, so it's half a second quicker than Hoy on that last lap. So Verstappen is on it here. He's actually got a super exit against Hoy, but Hoy chops him off down the wiggly straight through this left kink, which the motorcyclists managed to call turn 2, and therefore the car guys thought, yeah, that'll do as well. Nobody gets it. We really don't get why that's a thing, but it is a thing. Watson here is looking as Barthez, slight contact with the back of the 2KF1. He keeps it going, he's fine at the moment. And Barthez though is absolutely flying. He's got the power, he's got the speed, he's got the skill, and he's got the apex. That is an overtake done for Barthez. Moves up to 12th, scoring a few more points with that position. He's now got a long way to go to catch up to De Angelis. We'll have to see what lap times he can do in clean air now. So Barthez has now been released, back up after his off-track moment at turn 1. As Hoy is still managing to hold off Verstappen for the moment. Heading up through turn 2 into 3. Is Verstappen thinking about sending it up the inside? Not quite this lap. It's probably too early for a suicide lunge yet. He's got great exit against Hoy. So he head down the third of the back straights. Verstappen's got the run. He's going up the inside on Chris Hoy. Into turn 4. Hoy's going to hold it around the outside, but Verstappen gets a little bit of a swap on, forcing Hoy to take the wide line, but Hoy has got the inside for the next corner. Hoy's going to go for it, and Hoy takes the position back. Impressive bit of driving there from Chris Hoy. We'll just get this helicopter shot again. So Hoy was on the outside, Verstappen on the inside. They've both given each other racing room. Verstappen, he got the slide to try and force Hoy a bit wider, but in the end that just allowed Hoy to have some momentum to come back up the inside. Hoy taking the inside line through this section of track. And well, he survives another lap in the lead. Well, when I say the lead, ahead of Verstappen. Brundle out to 5th, has got past De Vries, the latest driver to find, but the other Dutchman is a bit slower. Fangio is still close to Villeneuve. He's trying to get Alonso, and Clark has got past Alonso and he's quite happily in 7th place there, I must admit. So all this battling is not helping Hoy in his pursuit of Rossi. Gap is now 9 seconds to Rossi, which is a further 11 seconds to Button. Jensen has absolutely checked out, 18 seconds ahead of 3rd place after 12 laps. This is scary, guys. Let's hope somebody else earns some money and we can stop Jensen, because this is going to be violent. This is absolute domination. but you get some good results, you make the correct buys, and it can happen to anyone. As here we see Andretti having just got past Gurney, going up the inside of Senna for 20th place. So good move there from the Excelsior as he moves up a place on one of the newer teams in the Falcon, but the Falcon's got a load more power and a lot less. No, they've got the same downforce package. He's got more power. That's about the only thing that's helping him there. As Yuja Hide slid back to last somehow. Actually, getting vaguely close to being at risk of being lapped, to be honest. Button's relentless pace is, well, relentless. Verstappen now finally decided to make the suicide lunge into turn 3. Got past Hoy. Can Hoy get him back in the slipstream? I don't think so. Having seen that was a clean move from the Dutchman. But now Hoy's going to go up the inside again. He's going to the apex first and he's really pushed Verstappen wide here. Hoy doesn't have the speed of Verstappen, but he sure wants that place and he's going to ruin the Dutchman's day. Make sure he can keep it. So Hoy stays third for the moment. As Barthez is closing the gap, it was 11 seconds when he got past Watson a few laps ago, but he's sidling through now, so down to 5 seconds, so we'll just stick with Barthez for the moment and see what lap time he's doing. Button's just on a 14.9 for reference. Seeing clear what the DTK driver can do. The final corner. So across the line, Fabian Barthez does a 16.1, so it's not lightning pace, but compared to the 16.9 his rivals are doing, it's not too bad. As Villeneuve is close to Alonso, but he can't get through. Stefan is too far back on Hoy for the moment. Rossi is, well, he's in no man's land again. Barthez he's flying up to De Angelis here. De Angelis needs to be wary because I don't think he's going to have much to defend against Barthez by the time he gets here. So Nick Heidfeld now is in the points. I think he's starting to calm down a bit. Now he's actually fighting for points and not being lapped at the back. The high-tech's finally starting to get some power in his car. So it's a bit not as far off the rest of the pack as it has been during the rest of the season. So the high-techs, if they can stay where they qualify, they can do well, but the problem is that if they haven't got the power, they're getting overtaken. It's nice to see this. The Bangalores, well, I mean, they are still backmarkers, but they're not. They would be. Yeah, we've seen previous races. They've been fighting Excelsior and Falcon here and Cass for like absolute nothing points. But they're moving up the grid now, having made their downforce upgrades, and you know they've. Well, the sponsor is make up 10 places, which unfortunately for them they had quite a decent qualifying, which is going to make it a bit harder for them to do, as they've only got a net gain of 1 at the moment. Who knows? Who knows? There could be some reliability issues up the front, some accidents. I mean, look at this, Verstappen and Hoy. These two could very easily tangle and ruin their days. Verstappen takes a tight line into turn 1 to think about annoying Hoy, but in the end it doesn't do anything, although he has got a brilliant run. He head up through turn 2. Not made much effort though. Hoy has defended quite well on the way in. Verstappen's going to have to get a brilliant slipstream down this hill and send it. I don't think he's going to make it now. No, not this lap. But I think it is lap 17, which is approaching. I and I think we will see the first blue flags of the race for UJE Day. We haven't even had any pit stops. So, yes, it is exemplified, but it's such a short circuit layout. You know, 1 minute 14 is the lap distance, the lap time, so it's not going to take long to get past. But already, Jenson Button is starting to lap some drivers, and look at this, I think he's caught Ide in the perfect place down the straight. Ide has defended his line somehow, and is not helping Jenson at all. This is the first time Button has gone slow all race, as Ide then decides to just hit the brakes in the middle of the straight, because Ide, I think is the best way to put that. Ahoy and Verstappen are still going at it. As De Vries's fall back through the pack has kind of stalled, which is good for him. Clark hasn't really closed up and made an effort to get past, as Barthez is storming up behind De Andres. Well, you can see the track map on the right. He's closed right up to De Andres, and the big gap he had between Watson and De Andres is now, well, he's the other side of it. That was Nick Heidfeld getting up the inside of Watson. Good move from the German. Getting past the Northern Irishman. Spectacular move, but Watson's going to try and come back at the next hairpin, and he does just that, and parks on the apex so Heidfeld can't get back past. Hakkinen, his teammate, isn't close enough to capitalise yet. But it will happen at some point. So there we go. So Senna has managed to get back past Andretti and Gurney in the Excelsiors, as Hamilton is the next car who is going to be lapped by leader Jenson Button. Hoist gap over Verstappen. I think Verstappen's given up on trying to overtake for the moment, just because it wasn't really going to plan, and he might have been burning through his tyres or something. Still there's that risk now from Fangio still. I would say Fangio's pretty close to his bin for the last few laps. But is it enough to affect a pass into turn 4? No, it really isn't. I'll back up the front because Button is now into the pack of back markers from 20th downwards. That would be Senna, and then the Excelsiors and the Cas cars. That's a nice slipstream from Gurney, who then does decide to brake and get out of his way. All of which has allowed Hamilton to get close to Gurney. Not enough to make a pass, but it's something, I suppose. Brundle is kind of sat in a 3.5 second no man's land between Verstappen and De Vries, the two NLEs. Verstappen once again is close to Hoy, but he's just not close enough to do anything major here. He must have taken his tyres apart in the process of the previous fights he's had. Button now has got Andretti to deal with. Him to take an awkward line to final corner to tell him he's there. But we've seen here the straights are long enough and wide enough that you can just get past this. Button just drives into Andretti and punts him out of the way. Having almost taken down Gurney's head off in Canada last week, you'd think he'd have learned not to just drive into the side of Excelsiors when lapping them, but maybe it's the only way to get them to notice. Either way, it was a bit rude. They're back in the pack. Heidfeld is under massive pressure from Hakkinen. No, I thought I saw a battle, but it wasn't a battle. Hoy and Verstappen, I think Verstappen had a kind of little weave in the braking zone to kind of tell Hoy that, look, I'm still here. I'm still going to be a thorn in your side, but actually I can't really do anything. So, yeah, have fun disappearing up in front of me. Button now is closing up to Senna to get past him. So Button's about to lap 20th place. And he's going to be past 20th before second place has lapped last place. As you look here, Rossi is caught up to Ide. Senna's still holding Button up in front as Ide gets out of Rossi's way. So not quite. There's only 4 lapped cars between them. Actually, there's 3 as Button drives into Senna. He just keeps driving into these lapped cars at the slow corners. He does not want that front wing for some reason. It's working perfectly for him, but that's obviously not good enough. Maybe he just likes purple and wants everyone to have purple on their cars. Who knows? Who knows? Well, I don't, and if I did, well, why would I tell you? So Button's now got a 15-second lead over Rossi, with 4 lapped cars between them. Seems pretty comfortable to me. There's a ride here with Verstappen, and he sits behind Hoy, and is thinking, oh, I'm bored of reading Smeg on the back of that DTK. When can I get past him? When? Where? How? All the things I've tried. I did overtake him at one point, and he just got me at the next corner. This isn't fair. How am I supposed to deal with this? Well, to be honest, Max has got a better run here on Hoy than he's had for a while. If we can just sit behind him, get a better exit at turn 1, and stay in that slipstream, this could be Verstappen's go. This truly is one of the highs. He's gone the wrong side. Hoy's shown him the door on the left, and as soon as Max committed, he closed it. Good driving there from the Brit. The final straight that you can really overtake here. You know, Hoy only really got his move into the first left-hander. The next corner we come up to, because he was side by side through turn 4. Yeah, turn 6 here isn't an overtaking spot unless you're already side by side. But I think up ahead that is Ide. That is going to be Verstappen's, I think, best chance to let the lap traffic start to get in the way. As De Angelis has been passed by Barthez there, and I think Fangio has also made it ahead of Villeneuve in the last few laps. So there's been a bit of passing in the mid-pack that I've missed with this blue flag action. As Hardfog's managed to gap Hackner now. Which is quite clever. Prost now is about to go a lap down on Button. And Button goes slow on the apex, so Prost has to go back, but Button's made an overtake there without crashing into someone, which is an improvement. Hoy's still got Verstappen stuck behind him. I think further back, De Vries is dropping back and Clark is getting closer to him, so De Vries' lack of pace is hurting again. Hoy, here we go, he's approaching Ide. This is going to be the moment, if there is going to be one. This is Verstappen's best chance for a few laps to get past. Where is Ide going to let Hoy through? How much time is Hoy going to lose with Ide? And will Ide let them both through in one go, or will he let Hoy through and then brake check Verstappen? Well, Hoy sends up the inside into the opposite corner and Verstappen follows him. Hoy was clever there. He forced Ide wide at a really awkward place, so that Verstappen knew he had to follow. And in the process, well, he's lost 6/10 on that lap. And the gap's gone up, and I don't think Verstappen's going to have any chance this lap. That was some clever driving by Hoy. Make a stupid overtake that loses your rival even more times. He has to then commit and take an awkward line. Clever driving for the DTK driver as he makes it through. Ide now getting blue flags for Brundle. Button is approaching. That would be Michael Schumacher next. So Bangalore's low downforce upgraders that they've been saving up for the past few races is helping them. Not enough, but it is helping them. Now Perez is 16th, he's close to the point, so this could be a lucrative day if you're lucky. So Hoist lead over Stefan has evaporated again. And Stefan's thinking about another go. As we follow Hoy into turn 1. Stefan doesn't take as wide a line as Hoy does, so he's not getting as good an exit as you'd expect. This isn't going to be helpful. And he's trying to get Citrine up the inside of Hoy. He goes for a suicide lunge and touring car taps Hoy about 3 times in the braking zone. But decides that yes, that wasn't too fair and lifts out of it. Out of the hairpin to let Hoy through a bit. So Hoy keeps this 3rd place again, and the gap to Rossi is now about 10 seconds as Rossi's gap to Button is 17, although the blue flags are making these gaps a little bit irrelevant. All you need to know is at 1st, 2nd and 3rd there's a lot of gap between them, mainly caused by getting into the getting into clean air at the right times. Button's pace is not that mythical, I must say. He is storming away at the front as expected. Rossi's gap to 3rd place is a surprise, but thanks to blue flags that's fallen apart. Stefan had a bit of a look at Hoy into turn 1. Didn't amount to anything. Get up the straight. And 3 this is. And Stefan's had an awful line through there. He has lost a load of time. And it's a bad time to do it because Hoy is starting to approach. Well, it's Hamilton and Gurney to lap them. So with Hoy about to lose a load of time behind 2 slow back markers, Stefan has decided to throw away this chance to overtake him. And has fallen back. So Hoy's stuck behind Houghton in the super fast corners in the middle of the sector. And has now made it past. As Verstappen slots through Houghton at the same time. That's 15.7 for Rossi. 16.7 for Hoy, and a 17.6 for Verstappen. So Verstappen's lost 2 seconds to Rossi on that lap, and Hoy's lost 1. That's allowing Braun to get close as he's trying to get past Hamilton, who's just weaved across the track and blocked the Hardy car. Hoy now is approaching Braun at the hairpin. Not Braun, sorry, Gurney. Is Gurney going to get him out of the way, or is he just going to give him a slipstream and then hit the brakes? But if he's doing Hoy's having to go up the inside here. Yes, Hoy up the inside of Gurney is. You can see that Hoy's got the first fuel warning. There's Verstappen now. Yeah, see, Hoy's done well there. He's got Gurney between him and Verstappen. Gurney's slow through the middle sector and he's fast cornered because he's got useless downforce. It's just dropping Verstappen away, and that is once again some perfect blue flag etiquette from Chris Hoy, using them to his advantage. As Verstappen almost hits Gurney, tried to get out of the way but had a big slide, and in the end it's just made Verstappen lose a heap of time. Across the line, Chris Hoy 16.8, Verstappen 17.8, another second with Hoy's coming in this lap, and so is Verstappen. Stefan also coming in this lap, not for fuel it seems. Maybe he's got some damage. No, it is for fuel. Ross coming in and Button's coming in, so actually the top 4 all of a sudden pit this lap. Jim Clark has fallen behind Alonso somewhere. Not noticed that. Has this been an overtake or has this been a mistake, or has this been some blue flags? Looks like it has been UJE Day, maybe. Yeah, so Clark's coming up to lap E-Day, but not yet. But no, that is genuinely just Alonso has pulled a brilliant move on Clark. A bit of wheel banging, but sensible enough. Clark is now falling back, and Fangio actually having a look at his teammates. I think I can see in the pit lane is Gilles Villeneuve from 12th place. Yes, it is. So Villeneuve has made his first pit stop. He's the first driver to make a pit stop. Watson's also coming in, and Heidfeld. So we really are in the pit window now. As Jenson Button, race leader, comes flying into the pit. Has he got... Well, he's definitely going to emerge in the lead because everyone else he's racing is also pitting. As actually Martin Brundle has got past Verstappen here into 4th place. So yes, so Gurney has absolutely wrecked Verstappen, so from being right on Chris Hoy's rear wing, he's caught up behind Gurney, been stuck behind him for far too long, and Brundle has said thank you very much. Gets past Verstappen, gets past Gurney, and then Verstappen's still staring at the back of Excelsior, and finally gets him through the double right-hander. That is an absolute disaster. So Jenson Button's leaving the pit lane before second place even comes in. That is a stonking lead. Chris Horse comes in now. Brundle, what can he do? Can he use this as a chance to jump Chris Hoy to 3rd place? I, to be honest, doubt it because the gap's so big. De Vries and now Alonso and Fangio keep going. So Rossi is exiting the pits in 6th place. Barthez goes through and he's coming in this lap. So Barthez now has some more clean air. What can he do in his battle with, well, the Breveras really, was who he was racing. Chris Hoy with a big gap over Stefan. So where will Brundle slot in with this lot? That's another question we were asking. So Button's still in the lead. Now there are a few more cars to lap who came out the pits in front of him, so they're all going to be heavy fueled as well. Got Heidfeld, Senna and Watson. Here we go, Martin Brundle comes in the pits after hardly racing out a brief 1-2 on the cards. Comes in behind Andretti, so if Andretti comes out in front of Brundle, that's going to make it a bit trickier for him on an outlap. Rossi comes flying through the top corners. He should take 2nd back quite comfortably. So it's Chris Hoy and Max Verstappen versus Mark Brundle is what matters here. So Brundle's got going again. Martin Brundle here comes through the first corner pit lane exit as Chris Hoy slots through. And Verstappen on the exit, is he ahead? No, Brundle has slotted back in between Hoy and Verstappen. De Vries comes out, he's got Andretti in the way. Alonso's still ahead of Clark. Fangio. Barthez has managed to jump Villeneuve, so Barthez is back into the top 10 after his really awkward moment at turn 1 about lap 8 or something. Look at that, 3rd place is coming through turn 5 and Jenson Button's heading into turn 1. This 25-second lead he has is staggering after lap 31. Rossi second further, 11 seconds ahead of Hoy, with Brundle just under a second behind. Alonso has been slowed right down by Andretti, just allowing Clark and Fangio to also bunch up. And actually Fangio's thinking of moving Clark into the penultimate corner. That wasn't going to happen, was it, mate? And now Andretti's ruined it for both of the Red Knights. But Fangio stays close. This has allowed Alonso to zip off away. So Hoist lost time trying to lap Senna. And now Braun is losing time behind Senna, and in fact, Stefan has a look at Braun like the inside, a little bit of contact between the two of them, the NLE and the Harvey. As Braun gives Verstappen a chop towards the wall. But Verstappen has none of it, gets back in the slipstream, sends it up the inside. Braun on the outside line gets forced wide, and Verstappen is back up to fourth. Good move from the Dutchman, capitalising on some backmarker mayhem to get through. As I say, Clark and as now Barthez, Villeneuve and De Angelis have all got past the backmarkers, it seems. Is that? No, that's Hamilton is just getting in the way of De Angelis. So he's going to fall away from his teammates. He runs a bit wide, trying to get round the outside of Hamilton. He's actually bumped the back of the Cash racing car. So get out of my way. You don't need to be blocking me like this. I am a faster car than you. And actually, in all of that, I think definitely one of these, actually both of them are trying to have a go at Hamilton. Gurney up the inside of Hamilton, the final corner, not quite going to work. On board with Houghton as Gurney has blasted his way past the Irish team's machine as Cass falls into last and last but one. Not the greatest day for them at all, especially as so far all 24 cars are still running. Now Fangio's actually fallen away from his teammate quite dramatically, and is now, well, close to being overtaken by Barthez than he is to passing Clark. Barthez, who of course recorded his first non-top 10 finish of the season, actually his first non-top 4 finish of the season at Canada last round. He's into the top 10 and is looking like he's going to move up rather than fall away unless something cool and ironic happens. Stefan now is rejoining. He's caught back up to Hoy and is going to restart his battle. It was going all through the first stint. I think about it at Hairpin, but he's not close enough to think about a move like he had to Brundle a couple of laps ago. That was a stonking move, I must admit. I'm staffed up the inside of Brundle into this corner. Set him up a couple of corners ago. Got past him when Brundle was being held up by the back marker and sent it beautifully into turn 4. Alonso now is trying to find a way past Senna. Senna kind of gets that way, but Alonso's wide and sliding. And on the outside as Alonso's hit Senna. Fernando Alonso has hit Senna, trying to lap him at a really awkward place. Has ripped his front wing off. Barthez is going to go through. But that was clumsy driving, well, from the both of them really. Senna trying to let Alonso through on the inside for a long corner. Never going to work. But Alonso did not need to drive into the side of Senna. That was the clumsiest bit though. He just turned into the racing line and thought Senna was going to get out of the way. No, you've seen these guys, they don't get out of your way. I think the helicopter was having a look down on this. It was. We had a slide to the previous corner. Turn 6 and in 7. Oh, that's poor driving from the City Pop driver. 5th on the grid, he's now going to slide back and he's going to have to make another pit stop, or I don't think he's coming in this lap. It's a bit too late in the lap to make it in time. as now Villeneuve and De Angelis are going to slide through. Yeah, Alonso's going to do a lap without front wing. That's going to ruin that race for City Pop. Or for the City Pop driver at least. So we head back up towards the third, fourth battle. Verstappen's still close to Hoy, but I don't think he's close enough again. I really don't. No, he's not. Verstappen is going to have to sit behind and look at that smeg rear wing again. Button said another fast lap. He's going to put a second lap on Yuja Ide in last place. Ide has just fallen away from Hamilton monumentally. I think I can see Alonso is now actually being unlapped. Just because without the front wing he's so slow. Gurney and Hamilton are thinking, "Oi, can you get out of my way? Please. We diligently didn't get out of your way, so can you not get out of our way, please? Thank you very much." Alonso falls wide as Hamilton pushes him a bit wider. Alonso's looking like he's going to go down another lap. As Verstappen has got past Hoy, Max Verstappen has finally made it past Chris Hoy, and this looks like it's been blue flag assisted. So Hoy tries to get the inside of Prost into multiple corner, but he's got his line all wrong. He's got too much exit curb. Verstappen puts his nose up into the final corner. So Verstappen is through at the final turn, past Chris Hoy, and actually, I think what we were watching there was Verstappen under pressure from Hoy, maybe. Seeing that, no it is not. Verstappen has got past Hoy and is probably going to disappear up the road. So, having said earlier that Chris Hoy is going to disappear and try and catch Rossi, well, that wasn't the case. Verstappen was also cooped up behind De Vries. Perhaps he's the driver with the pace. Perhaps he is the one who's going to try and catch up the City Pop. He's not going to go and catch up Button. Button, like in Canada, the only enemy he's got is himself. Can he find a way to throw this race away, like he so desperately wanted to do in Canada? Who knows? It's Fernando Alonso, after changing his front wing, is looking like he's going to rejoin 15th or 16th place. He's going to be battling Frentzen on the exit. Go on board with the high-tech driver. He's thinking about it, but he just doesn't have the power of Alonso. Now with a new front wing, Alonso's probably just going to fly away. In fact, he does. Just disappears. Schumacher now has got Stefan behind him. Is he going to let him through? Who knows? No, he's just going to park it on the apex. What a surprise. Well, this is going to allow Hoy to get close, but no, he's not close. I mean, look how far back Chris Hoy has already fallen. It's 1.5 seconds and a lap to car behind Verstappen. Verstappen really is the man on the move at the moment. Keeps that pace up. Well, we'll check lap times. But Verstappen could be looking 15.7 for Rossi, 15.5 his best lap. What's Verstappen been doing? Well, but he has done a 15.2, so his fastest lap is 0.3 ahead of Rossi. So ultimate pace, Verstappen should be able to lightly start to close the gap. He could do this, you know, on Rossi, especially if Rossi has some awkward back marker laps. Because now with Hoy having been released, or the other way around, with Verstappen having been shot out of a cannon and has disappeared 4 seconds up the road on Hoy, Brundle is now thinking, hey, I can smell that 4th place here. Stefan now is having a go at Frentzen, who's in 16th place, who actually gets out of the Dutchman's way very nicely. Perez tries to get out of Horner's way, but just and then blocks him completely and just allows Brundle to get a massive run on the DTK driver. Perez parks at a really awkward place as Perez, he's not even going into the pits and yet he's taking the red as what how Brundle has made the wrongest of wrong decisions he could possibly do there. He's got a chance to get some momentum on Hoy and has ended up sat behind Perez. Why did he do that? He goes around him with front, there's a big slide out of turn 1. Not what he wanted at all, was it? So Hoy has now dropped 5 seconds behind Verstappen in about 3 laps or something. This is comically slow from the Briton. Barthez is now 9th and not too far away from his teammate, despite that enormous spin and being stuck in traffic. So, good recovery drive so far from Barthez, keeping them both in the top 10. Perez gets out of the way of De Vries. Ujaide is now about to be lapped by one of the 2 KF1s that would seem to be. Well, actually, both of them. He does it quite calmly, actually. So the 2 Barrels are in 17th and 18th. Schumacher's not looked as off the pace as he has in previous races, which is nice for him. Here we go, we have an actual battle here. As Barthez has finally caught up to Fangio. Fangio, awful slide through turn 1. What's going to allow Barthez to do? He's got the speed, he's got the power. He had to lift off though, but with Prost up ahead, back market it could cause problems. Fangio's having to play defensive. Prost is cutting up lines. So can Barthez make something happen here? On the red night, with the Falcon in front just being a little bit annoying and getting in the way. Prost is lets them both through, but Barthez loses quite a bit of time with that, and he seems to get a bit caught in a gear. So Barthez dropped right away. I think that was D'Angelo's passing. I don't know if was it. No, that's already happened. The gap between Rossi and Verstappen is staying at about 10 seconds. They've both had some clean air. They're both about to start lapping some people. Verstappen's about to lap Alonso, and Alonso is quick. He just lost his front wing. So Verstappen's actually about to get a really hard driver to lap, whereas Rossi is about to get Ide, who's a hard one to lap for a completely different reason. Hoy seems to have fended off the attacks from Brundle for the moment, and De Vries is sat there, still in no man's land. Clark is fine, and Fangio has got a little bit of a gap to Barthez for the moment. But for the moment appears to be the correct term, because that's not going to survive much longer. Perez? Apologies. Perez has got Schumacher right on his bumper here for the Bangalore motor racing team, the 2 of them super close. But Schumacher's just getting a blue flag here now for, I think that's going to be Fangio and Barthez. It is. Fangio goes through, Barthez goes through. Schumacher diligently gets out of the way for both of them. As Perez now sees the same blue flags for the same 2 drivers. Will he lose as much time as Schumacher did? Actually, this has allowed Barthez right on the bumper of Fangio. He's now got the blue flags done. Can Bartes get himself up to 8? Certainly going to think about it. But not this lap into that corner. Yeah, Button is now starting to get frighteningly close to putting his championship rival and lap down again. Once again though, Bartes, it was self-inflicted. With escapade after contact with one of the NLEs, I think it was, sending him a bit wide. Clark here trying to put a lap on Frentzen and losing time, that's not going to help him. Bartes was closer than Fangio on that last lap, so we close the gap up again. Bartes is closing up and this might be the lap. Hastily must curve turn 3, down the wibbly back straight. 24 is in the background, that was Schumacher having a look at Perez. Perez still holds firm, but this is allowing Prost to catch up. Maybe he's going to start getting in the way and having some fun. Schumacher seems to be quicker than Perez at the moment, but can't quite make his way through. But once again, these teammates are, well, the car's quicker than it has been for a while, so they can't afford to trip over each other. Especially as money and championship points could be on the line as this race progresses. Schumacher has a little lunge into the final corner, not quite going to make it. Hang on, I've just seen Ayrton Senna is DNF'd. Senna is out the race. What's happened to him? He's come to the arenas curve, and he's just turned it off, pulled it off. Something's broken back to touch the engine. Engine failure for Falcon. What a shame. We're nowhere near squeaky bum time. But the team with the joint squeakiest bums on the grid. Well, no reliability upgrades. Car could blow up at any point. And sadly for them, that's what's happened. Hackman now at 13th is being blue flagged for 2nd place. What's gone wrong for 2KF1s? Perez still managing to stay ahead of Schumacher. With Prost sat behind thinking, when can I capitalise? Well, probably when that, which one was it, the Bravera with De Angelis is going to come through and lap you 3. It's your next, but De Angelis is about to be lapped by Button as well. So swings and roundabouts, you're on the losing side. There you go, Prost has obviously got the blue flag for De Angelis and it's starting to slow down. He held up De Angelis through that corner spectacularly and lost them both at country, well, a lot of time. The country mile of time was the metaphor I was going for, and that really is the wrong measurement. What has happened there? What's happened there? It's Prost and De Angelis have hit the brakes and Button's joined in. What? Right. So De Angelis is trying to get past Prost. Prost is slowed down to De Angelis, and De Angelis is slowed down to let Button through, and they've all just stopped on the track, and Button's gone, whoa, hang on guys, what are you doing? Prost's got a blue flag. Prost's got a double blue flag, De Angelis has got a blue flag, and Button's coming at full speed and gone, hang on guys, what? Can you not, like, ruin everyone's races for me, please? Anyway, we go back to front. As Bartes sends it up the inside of Fangio, finally. Bartes has a look and gets past after a bit of help from Frentzen. Can Fangio do anything on the way back through? I don't think he can. Barthez seems to have his place locked in solidly. I think I saw further back. Yes, Schumacher. It's finally got past Perez. As they look into turn one, they side by side, they keep it in, they keep it tidy. Bangalores fly up the straight. Side by side through turn two. But Schumacher has the inside line for three. On the brakes, up the inside, gets it turned in. Fires it out the corner. Lovely job. So Button has lost some time with that, well, having to come to a complete stop in the final corner. But he's still got 31-second lead, so I don't think he's that disheartened by it. Barthez, having got past Fangio, has stayed there and has stayed ahead. Of course, Button's mishap with the back markers has certainly helped extend the time that it's going to take Button to get through. But anyway, as Jensen Button comes to the end of lap 45, I think it's time we have a proper run through the current order of the grid. So Jensen Button leads the way. He's led from start to now from pole position, completely dominant, 32 seconds in the lead. He's gone. It's going to have to take something cruel and ironic to deny him this victory. Valentino Rossi in second place, made a good start, got past De Vries on the first lap and pulled away as De Vries was holding everybody else up. We've got 7 seconds now to Verstappen with a bit of blue flags kind of making this gap between them ebb and flow, but Rossi looks very comfortable here in Ziggy Pop. Max Verstappen is up to third. He didn't have the best of starts and got stuck behind De Vries for a while, but he's battled his way up, back up into third place, and is now trying to catch up to Rossi. Chris Hoy up for 7th place to 4th. He held third for a while, but Verstappen's relentless pace got him in the end. Brundle up from 9th place to 5th again. He's made his way up to 5th, but Hoy seems to be too quick for him at the moment. De Vries started second, but has been nowhere near the pace since then. 6th place is quite flattering. As Jim Clark takes 7th for the Red Knight, they've done well, kicked out of trouble for the moment, and let everyone else lose time around them. Barthez, they're only down 2 places, but that doesn't tell the story. He made a brilliant start. Was challenging for 3rd place really in one of the early laps. But ran wide at turn 1, got caught on the exit curb and dropped all the way back to 16th, and it's been a fabulous reply and return drive up to 8th so far, with Fangio being his most recent victim of overtaking. Leo De Angelis in 10th is the first lapped driver so far, up 6 places for Bravera, so he's had a really good race so far, even if 10th is all he's going to get as it stands. Gilles Villeneuve, his teammate, having been caught in some battles. Fans have down to 11th now. Watson up to 12th in 2KF1, the pink boy, ahead of his teammate Mika Häkkinen. Doing what they can, but 2KF1 has been lagging behind in developments for a while now, and they should really be there with the Red Knights, but they've just not been paying attention to their car enough. Nick Heidfeld, public enemy number 1. Sat in 14th, where he started, on for some points for high tech, which they sorely need, really. Although he's about to lose it to Fernando Alonso, who was doing well until at this very corner he decided to drive inside of the Falcon and Alain Prost that he was lapping and lose his front wing. Lucky to escape the gravel, Alonso is, well, riding on board with him, trying to get past Heidfeld. I think stick with this for the moment. But Alonso has got a massive power advantage over him in the high tech. Super Pop, joint most powerful car on the grid, high tech. Well, they've never had any power in that car. But it's unfortunate they just got bad power randomizer at the beginning of the season to go with their high downforce, which has left them cruelly off the pace all season. It's really been a shame for Heidfeld and Frentzen in the high tech. They just haven't been able to show the pace that they were the only team who went straight for high downforce off the start, and without the power, it didn't pay off, unfortunately, for them. But anyway, Heidfeld and Frentzen 15th in the other, and 16th even in the other high tech. See what he can do. Schumacher 17th at Bangor has got past Perez and disappeared up the road. So well done, Sergio, Michael. You're showing yourself to be quicker than Perez quite comfortably. Prost finding himself 19th. Falcon, they've got a decent amount of power, but the drivers are a bit off the pace and the car just doesn't have the grip that it needs. Challenge further up. Excelsior, a double collision at the Argentine Grand Prix really ruined their season early on, and they've been backmarked ever since. Gurney about to go another lap down to someone else. He's not going to be thrilled with that. Houghton and Ide rounding out the field for Cash Racing. The double DNF in Canada has, well, made it even worse for them this time. And Senna so far is our only retirement so far with a blunt engine. So Button's lead is now up to about 37 seconds on lap 50. It's as comfortable can be. Rossi's got it back up to 11 seconds back to Stefan. There's a lap car between them, so well, Stefan's not got anything to worry about. Hoyt is still 4th. Braun's still 5th. There's no much difference between them as De Vries is now finding back markers getting in his way. Barthez has not dropped Fangio. The gap between them hasn't changed as rapidly as you'd think. The faster car and driver not being able to pull away as much. Yep, so Alonso has managed to get past Heidfeld and has already pulled 4 seconds on him. It's the front running pace versus midfield pace on the show. Quite dramatically there, unfortunately. As the season goes on, the gap between the front and the back has gotten a bit bigger. This should change next season, hopefully, as the new regulations have recently been announced. With the aim of trying to reduce the massive gaps we're currently seeing, I suppose. So for those of you that don't know about the gaps, while there's not much going out on the track, oh, we have a yellow flag somewhere as Mario Andretti is out the race. Andretti from Excelsior, he's pulled off. This looks like a failure of some sort. Yeah, something has gone in the back of that car, and he did not want to drive it any further. So, unfortunately for Excelsior, one of the backmarker teams that really needed some guys up in front to have failures, Andretti is out. Becoming our second retirement of the race, which is really unfortunate. Now, as I said, we've got 2 retirements and they're 2 back markers. These guys at the back, they need the guys at the front to retire so they get a chance of moving up, maybe getting some points and maybe earning some more money by the end of the race so they can get the upgrades they need to move up the field. The staggered prices for the championship positions has worked, but prize money being given out is probably a bit too obscene at the front of the grid compared to the back of the grid, which is probably helping the grid, spread out as much as it has. But Global Formula Automobilista will always be a prototype. It can always change and it's always an experiment. This first season is the first time we've run this, and yeah, we're seeing that yes, we want teams to get their victories and make the upgrades and start to pull away at the rate they are this race. Well, probably not. As I said, there's not much more Button can do now. He's at 99 speed, which is just disgusting, really, compared to everyone else on the grid. Yeah, so Global Formula Automobilista Season 2 will be moving on to right from the 1980s Formula 1 cars into the 1990s. We will be seeing a slightly updated calendar, mostly the same rounds but some slightly different circuit layouts maybe. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, different car shape, different engine sound. We're going from these turbos to the naturally aspirated V12s, and different shapes, different sizes. See how it goes. I think, yes, it is Villeneuve's first car to come into the pit, so we might start to see a few pit stops appearing. So, the main thing is that everyone will start from pretty much base setups as we are now, as we started with this season, to try and mix up the grid. There'll be tiny carryovers to allow, teams that did well here, give them something to fight for, make it worth fighting for and spending your money during this season. You're not giving up and saving for next season and dominating again. But there is a chance for drivers to move up and down the grid. Teams will be keeping, they'll keep one driver. So, like for example, DTK, they've got Chris Hoy and Fabian Barthez. At the end of the season, they could nominate, I don't know, to keep Hoy. And Hoy would definitely be in their team next year. Barthez would go into the big pool of drivers. So let's say Verstappen. Yeah, so let's say Button, Rossi, Verstappen, and Hoy are kept for these respective teams. That would mean Martin Brundle, Fernando Alonso, Nick de Vries, and Fabian Barthez will be out for sale. At the end of the season, whoever's in the championship will be able to choose. So, because Button season will say that Harvey gets to choose first, they can then decide to choose Brundle as their driver, but they might not. They might say, no, I want Fernando Alonso, I want Jenson Button and Fernando Alonso in the Harvey for next season, which would be totally legal. Rossi might be CD Pop, let's say they're second to choose. They might be annoyed about that, but there's nothing they can do. Alonso's already gone, so they decide to take Barthez. NLE, third to choose. They thought, no, I want to have de Vries again. De Vries hasn't been chosen now, and NLE choose de Vries. DTK, they might look at what's on offer and think, you know what, I'm going to go left field and I'm going to choose Kimi Räikkönen, new driver for the grid, but there's nothing wrong with that. So that's the way the driver signing will work. It won't affect, there's no carryover of skills, so Jenson Button will be randomised just the same as he was this season. He's not going to start the season as a completely OP driver, so if Harvey chose to keep Brundle and somebody else got to choose first, you couldn't choose Button and then disappear up the front. Hang on! This is monumental! Absolutely monumental. I just saw it on the telemetry. Rossi is out of the race from second place. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nowhere. Why? Why has it happened? Heading up through turn 2 and he's just... the car snapped and he's pulled out. Something. His engine's blown up. The engine on the Siggy Pop has given up. On what was looking like a really good day for Siggy Pop. First Alonso lost his front wing. And now... Rossi's out of the race. Valentino Rossi, who had been driving so well all race, is parked in the wall with a blown engine. Absolute tragedy. Absolute tragedy for Siggy Pop. Looking on to record their second podium in a row, and it's all gone out the window. What a disaster. Well, the fallout from this, Jensen Button's lead is now 50 seconds effectively over Max Verstappen in second place. The Dutchman, the Dutch team is up to second now, helping him close the gap towards, well, not lose touch to Button in the championship as much. Chris Hoy up to third now for DTK Racing, as Braun is up now into fourth, so it's looking really good for Harvey, even better now in the constructors table. De Vries is up to fifth, as Clark is now sixth, Bartes seventh, so he's nearly back in his starting grid location. He's back up sixth, so it's a recovery drive for Bartes, and it's been a feature of Bartes' season so far that he might not have been the quickest driver that many times this season. He only won in Argentina. But he just sits there and picks up pieces as everybody else blows up or crashes out. So Bartes could be on something good here. Fangio's 8th, De Angelis is 9th, and Villeneuve is now in the top 10. Alonso, Siggy Pop, he's recovered to 11th and he's looking pretty close to Villeneuve. He has made a second stop though. But Alonso is getting close to being back into the top 10, which is useful. Watson, 12th, I think. There we go, there's Rossi. So Frentzen moves up into 15th. So it's both high techs are in the points now. So Schumacher, 17th. He's now getting closer to scoring a point for Bangalore, which would be, first point for them since Donington Park. Perez, who's now a 19th and about to come in the pits, he hasn't scored a point since the first round of the season, really. He's actually on the longest non-point scoring streak. Perez's race leader Jensen Button comes into the pits for his final stop. He hopes, and he might lose the front wing or something later. Who knows? Simple stop as Verstappen is. No, he's not going to get past it, especially if he's coming in this lap, as is Chris Hoy from third. Clark is also making it in this lap, as is Hairpin. So Button exits the pits, still comfortably a million miles away in the lead. That's 22 seconds is the gap between him and Verstappen as Verstappen makes it into the pits, breaks for the line. All well and good. Hoy also comes in. As that's going to be Martin Braun inheriting second place. And ready to make his stop at the end of this lap. So once again it's a Harvey 1-2. But that's all pit stops. De Vries up to third. Again he's got to pit as Verstappen comes out with Bartes right behind him now. So there's a DTK behind the NLE, but it's not the one that he's racing. Hoy is a long way behind. De Angelis slots in as Alonso has made it past Villeneuve. Now of course Alonso made the stop to the front wing. Did he fuel it to the end? He might be able to get away with this. We'll see though. So there you go, Brundle in the pits, De Vries in the pits, and Bartes in the pits, as is Fangio. So, Bartes was 7th before the pit stops. Can he use this as a chance to springboard up ahead of Clark? Doubt it, but it's definitely something to think about. Bartes does get going. Clark coming out the final corner. But no, I don't think he's going to make it here. No, Clark has got the run through the first corner. Bartes is going to have to stare at the back of that for a while now. As Swung and Heap comes out the pits and straight away gets a blue flag from Jenson Button, the race leader. Not going to be long before Button has lapped his championship rival again. The battle at the front is non-existent. Maybe Alonso and Villeneuve is about the only close battle, though that's Alonso's past Villeneuve and is now disappearing, perhaps he can. Watson's getting blue flags from Jim Clark. And lets him through quite nicely. The two KF1s have been, well, kind when they've got blue flags, I must admit. It's nice to see. It really is. Frost is coming in this lap. Gurney's been quite nice. Well, the cash racing cars are now 20th and 21st, so they're still going. Moving up slightly. So, gaps at the front. 49 seconds separates Button and Stefan, with 13 seconds back to Chris Hoy in 3rd place. There's 3 and a bit seconds to Brundle, and 2.7 back to De Vries, although there is a blue flag car in the way of all this. Jim Clark is next, a further 9 seconds back. Bartes just under 2 behind, as Clark's having to navigate the back marker. Bartes, though, is about to be blue flagged because Fangio is 6 seconds behind, having just been blue flagged. 9th place DeAndres is almost half a minute off Fangio. The Breveras have been off the pace here, but clawing into the top 10 is not too bad. Alonso for the 10 seconds behind, and is only a second ahead of Villeneuve, who has kept close to the City Pop, whose tyres are probably just starting to head towards the not so good side of it. Watson is 46 seconds off. It's the 2 KF1s in their own little race there. Heidfeld is a further 5 seconds back, with Frentzen 12 seconds off, taking the last points position. Schumacher's 26 seconds off the points place. Prost 8 seconds further back, and Perez 14 in 18th. Gurney has just made a pit stop, having dropped back, allowing Hamilton through. Yuji Hide is last, just he's 3 laps off the lead. Doesn't really matter anymore. Here's the big moment though. Jenson Button through turn 4, about to lap his championship rival. Fabian Barthez, DTK driver, is... Oh, they said they've hit each other. Contact. As Barthez lets out Button through, and Button says, "Ha ha ha, look at me, I'm getting past you." That was really rude from Button. And Barthez is wide, he's let him through, and Button's just driven into the side of him. That wasn't even... that... I can't blame Barthez for that. He's seen the blue flags, he's running wide, he's clearly letting Harley through, he's giving him the space, and Button just drives into the side of him because reasons, I suppose. But they both come away without any damage, so I suppose it's just a meme more than anything. But that is now only the top 6, not a lap down, as Button has 10 laps left. Make that 9 laps to lap as many cars as he can. Still only there were 3 retirements, Senna, Andretti and Rossi. So that's not allowing much of these backmarkers a chance to get a lucky point or some extra money that they'll desperately need as the season continues on. Clark now is going to be the next victim of Button's blue flagging, as all that contact with Button allowed Banjo to get the gap to Bartes down to 1.5 seconds. Why now? 4 seconds ahead of Brundle. His podium position looks good for the moment. We'll see, we never know. Oh, he has had previously blowing up on the last lap. So Jenson Button is just a 1 minute 14.6. He sets a new fastest lap. I think he's the only driver in the 14s at any point in this race. Rossi in second was only on a 15.5. Well, he was in the second even. I think Verstappen's in a 15.2. He's the only driver who's been close. Well, look at that, he's got 15 seconds to Hoy, who we only overtook about 20 laps ago. So, Verstappen's had the pace, he just hasn't had the luck and track position. Bad start. There you go, 15.0 for Verstappen, so he's getting quicker. Track's gripping up as this race goes on. What's Chris Hoy going to do? .59, oh, he's lost a whole second that lap. He's in the 15.6 is his best lap. So he's nowhere. Hang on, Brundle's lost his front wing. Martin Brundle, he's made contact with Prost in the same way that Alonso did. He's got some air this time. But Martin Brundle has found... Now, you see, now that Prost has been driven into twice there... Oh no, again, Brundle can see where Prost is. That's unforgivable. That is incompetence by the faster car there. You know, Brundle's had time to see that Prost isn't getting out of his way. And you know that he can't go on the grass, you idiot. So, well, Martin Brundle is going to have to come in the pits. And in all of this, Bartes is getting up positions. That's Perez with that front wing as well. How Sergio Perez lost his front wing? So it's still on here, as he lost it on the back of Brundle. He has. Brundle's hit the brakes to go in the pits, and Perez has rammed into the back of the Harvey. Well, that's not what I was expecting either, I must admit. Brundle should get out before De Angelis very comfortably, but 8th is not what he was looking for. After all, Bartes has finally made it back up to 6th, the place he started his racing. Jim Clark has done quite well to find himself in 5th now, but on lap 65, Button's 51-second lead is looking pretty damn unbeatable. Verstappen goes up 2 into 2nd place. He's trying to lap Villeneuve and Gurney. Gets around both of them. Bit of a slide, but he's through. Hoy up 4 into 3rd place. Seems quite comfortable as it is. De Vries, as I think that is Alonso in the pits. Yes, so he obviously didn't manage to get enough fuel in his pit stop last time. De Vries, well, he's made it up to 4th now, which, I mean, it says down 2, but up to 4th because he's been off the pace all races. Jim Clark in 5th, started 11th up to 5th, and he's about to be lapped by Button and hit by Button. So Jenson Button, once again, close to the end of the race, he's not taking any prisoners, and he's just ramming into the back of anyone he can think of who's getting in his way. This is going to come back and bite him at some point. But he's still got a bunch of cars up ahead of him that he's got to get past. Barthez, who just says back to where he was, with Fangio on into 7th place. Brundle up 1 to 8, but really it's down 4 to 8 because of that mistake he had with Prost. Don't know what he was thinking, but it wasn't smart. DeAngelis is a big mover, up 7 places to 9th place. Spectacular driving from the Italian. Had a few podiums at the beginning of the season, but it's fallen apart from there. For Brevera as their 9th and 10th on merit, really. Alonso, he lost his front wing with Prost like Braun was just done. And now as the sole remaining city pop. It's not ideal, is it? Watson now 12th. The 2KF1. And Hackman ahead of Heidfeld. And Frentzen about to be lapped by Brundle. Hamilton has found himself up past Gurney and Perez after their late mistake, so he moves up to 18th in the Cash Racing car. That's going to be quite handy actually in terms of getting some dough for the team. Ide is just rolling around in life. He's getting close to Perez, who's lost a massive amount of time without front wing damage, actually. Prost gets out of the way of Clark and Brundle. Not Brundle, sorry, Barthez. And this battle here now for, well, 5th, 6th and 7th, I think it is, as Barthez is in a red night sandwich. He's hotting up. Freezing in a blue flag mess as Verstappen's trying to get past Hamilton for second. De Vries trying to get past the other cats at Ide. But Fangio is staring at the back of Barthez thinking, I can get you if you lose a load of time trying to get Clark. Barthez has actually lost quite a bit of time to Clark. It was 1 and a bit seconds, but it's now up to 3 seconds, so Barthez having an awful time somewhere. Brundle is now back to no man's land as Alonso's not making up positions unless there's some retirements and spins. And talking about, we have got a yellow flag. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Jenson Button is out of the race. Race leader Button. Oh, I said it. He was only going to destroy himself. And Button's in the wall at turn 4. What's happened here? Is it brakes? Is it engine? Is it suspension? It's all happy. It's all happy. He's lost it on the brakes. Jenson Button first at the brakes. He's hit the one, lost a wheel. Jenson Button, 3 laps from the end of the race, has chucked it away. The race leader curse of global Formula Automobilista. He tried to break it in Canada. He tried to throw it away in Canada, but his brakes have gone. And Button, from the most comfortablest of leads possible, has crashed out of the race at turn 4. He's won the last 3 races on the bounce. He's the championship leader. He lapped his championship rival. But he's out the race. What a turn up for the books. Max Verstappen. Does he know yet? He's not even leading yet. I mean, Button's got such a big lead. His car's probably going to be cleared away before he's even lost the lead of the race. Yes, it is. Verstappen comes into turn 4 and there are near yellow flags. But as he goes around, Max Verstappen takes the lead off the Austrian Grand Prix on lap 67. What has happened there? Chris Hoy, who's retired from the lead on the last lap, so he knows how it feels for Button. He's going to take 2nd place. And Nick de Vries is actually going to make it 2 NLEs on the podium. So de Vries takes third. Clark coming up to take fourth, and Barthez, Fabian Barthez, like I said earlier, he just sits back and lets everyone else make the mistakes, and he capitalises. He gets up to 5th place. So he tried to throw it away himself. Well, actually no, he was pushed wide, but another strong recovery drive from Barthez puts him in 5th place. Fangio 6th. Brundle, now the sole remaining Harvey, 7th place. What was looking like a strong result for the team has gone up in smoke. De Angelis is going to come up into 8th. He gets past Button's retired car. Villeneuve will take 9th place off him. Because of course they're going to promote Alonso up into 10th. Top 10. Watson 11th, Hackman 12th. Harper and Frentzen, and Michael Schumacher for Bangalore. Well, in a lap, is going to be up to 15th and scoring a point. So, Bangalore's upgrade to low downforce looks like it's going to finally score them a solid point. Which is definitely going to make the day of the Indian team. So, Verstappen, he's only got 2 laps to go here. That's at 70 to inherit a victory that until 5 minutes ago wasn't on the cards. Hoy, who's, well, actually yes, Verstappen took a long time to get past Hoy, but when he did, he's disappeared, and that appears to have been the race winning move. I think it was the penultimate corner he got past. So, hang on, I think we have another retirement down the back of the grid. And first it's Yuja Ide, I think. Ide, who's been traipsing around in last this entire race. Looks like he's going to be even laster. Gets out the way of Barthez and just falls out the way before Fangio gets in the way. Yeah, his engine's blown. Dodgy gear change for Ide has allowed, well, everyone else to get past. And, well, Ide's not going to terrorise anybody else this race. Yeah, Schumacher has finally got himself into the points. I saw a solitary point of his days there in 15th. So, it's ending up being a good day for Bangalore. Barthez is nowhere near Clark. Fangio is close to Barthez, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get past in this race. In the last lap and a half. But Verstappen now with a 20-second lead over Chris Hoy. Looking like as he's on the last lap, it's going to be a pretty simple win in the end. He had to battle his way back up the grid. He didn't have a good start. Did Max Verstappen? He started 4th but dropped back to about a 7th or something. Fought his way through the early battles. Helped a lot by the fact that Nick de Vries was really slow in holding everyone up, allowing him to carve his way through the guys being held up. He eventually fought his way past Chris Hoy, helped by the fact that the 2 runaway drivers and stars of this race, Valentino Rossi and Jenson Button, had blown up and retired from the race, but into the final corner to take his 2nd win of the season, 3rd win of the season for NLE Motorsport. Max Verstappen wins the Austrian Grand Prix. A solid, spectacular and incredible result, as he takes what was not expected. Chris Hoy, DTK Racing, is going to come across the line 2nd, and Nick de Vries is going to come across the line in 3rd in a result that will probably allow NLE to take the lead in the Constructors' Championship. It's going to be super close in NLE and DTK. Jim Clark, another 4th place for Red Knight. This team is getting super close to the podium now. They are 1 place away again. As Barthez' recovery drive up into 5th is going to go down in history. It's pretty damn legendary, I think you'll find. Wammer Fangio takes 6th place ahead of Martin Brundle. DeAngelis is 8th, Phil Knight, Alonso. So I think as Alan Prost has blown up metres away from the line, and if it weren't for the fact that everyone else behind him was already lapped, he'd be further down. But Braun will take 7th, DeAngelis 8th, and Villeneuve 9th, so Provera managed to get some extra points there, as Alonso rounds out the top 10. Watson and Hackman take 11th and 12th, Heidfeld 13th, French 14th, so double points for High Tech, well done to them. And Michael Schumacher scores a valuable point for Bangalore Motor Racing, allowing them to jump up and equal Excelsior in points. Prost is retired from the race in 16th. Hamilton takes 17th. Gurney 18th and Perez in 19th is our last remaining runner. Jenson Button, how devastated is he going to be with that? Well, looked like a brake failure, to be honest, into turn 4. Edo retired. Rossi, his engine blew up as well, so some leaders did go. Andretti and Senna round out the top of it. Well, that has been the Austrian Grand Prix. It was lacking a bit of action in the middle of the race, everyone spread out, but oh boy did it get exciting at the end. Spectacular result at the hastily rescheduled race, and well, the championship has swung in a complete different direction again. So I hope you've enjoyed the race. If you have done, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you are new to the channel or new to the series, it's being hosted on RaceDepartment. If you want to join in, come along. I'm very welcoming for you to join. Just follow the instructions on the first page and you can join in. Season 2 will be out in a few weeks when this championship is over. You can always come and join in for there as well. So, I hope you've had fun. I hope you enjoyed the race. I'll see you next week for the German Grand Prix. Goodbye.